All right, so we're going to call the meeting back to order. This is our presentation period. This is a time when we get some presentations and or give proclamations. I wanted to recognize our First Baptist Church here in Desert Hot Springs. I know Pastor Balark's in the audience there, and I'm having him come up to say a few words here in a minute. They just recently celebrated 75 years in our community, serving our community, and it's a great honor to have them in our community. I was not able to attend the service, so Mayor Pro Tem Gardner attended for us and presented the proclamation. I believe, Jampai, you were there. Anybody else was able to go? Oh, I just wanted to make sure everybody was recognized, but we wanted to make sure the city was there to represent our community and say thank you to what you've accomplished. And we presented them with a proclamation at that basically stated, whereas the First Baptist Church is commencing its 75th anniversary during 2022, and whereas the citizens of Desert Hot Springs and the First Baptist Church have continued to advance and grow over the years, and whereas with every pastor the church has had, it appeared God gave each a vision to do something that would improve and enrich the church family, and whereas the church's current leader, Pastor James Baylor, has established the First Community Baptist Church as a foundation in the community. And now, therefore, I, Scott Mattis, Mayor of the City of Desert Hot Springs, hereby honors the 75th anniversary of the First Baptist Community Baptist Church and urges all citizens of Desert Hot Springs to pay special tribute to this church on the occasion of their 75th anniversary of First Baptist Church. So we wanted to say thank you for all your service, and if you'd like to say a few words, Pastor, the microphone's yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see each and every one of you. I bring you greetings in the name of Jesus Christ. We are honored to receive this proclamation, and we continue to pray for each and every one of you who represent this great city of Desert Hot Springs, and that you will continue to be led to move in a positive direction and to address all of the issues and concerns that are brought before this council as well as the mayor. And I know that you guys will allow the due diligence to unfold and the results will be spectacular. And so I just thank you for this opportunity. The First Community Baptist Church thanks you for this opportunity to be recognized. Not that we want to be recognized, we want to be known for what we provide for the community, just like this great council does for the great city of Desert Hot Springs.
And I just want to briefly touch on the fact that you had a tragedy at your church recently, and you're working back into that church. You had a fire in one of the oldest buildings here in Desert Hot Springs, and they are working back into that building soon?
That is the goal.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you had a date yet or not. But
of course, there's always challenges, and we recognize that from the inception. But we're making progress, and we're hoping maybe by Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
I'm thinking worst case scenario would probably be the first of the year.
But I'm sure they will turn down no help if you were out there listening to us today. And the First Community Baptist Church can always use a hand up. So if there's anything we can do in our community to help you, we will do that.
Oh, amen. Well, then, you guys have been superlative in regards to assisting us in the things that need to be addressed. The response has been expedient, and so we thank God for the support that we have received thus far.
And you're sharing space with the Seventh-day Adventist Church right now? Is that where you're holding your services?
Say that one more time.
I'm sorry, you're sharing space with the Seventh-day Adventist Church? That's where you're holding your services?
Just for that one annual occasion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we use the technology, Zoom, as well as
awesome.
freeconference.com.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for what you've done for our community, and thank your congregation for being here as long as they have.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next tonight, we're going to have a presentation by the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission. Are they here? Anybody? Yes, they are. They're in the back waiting. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the rest of the City Council. We really do appreciate this opportunity to come before you. And my name is Scott Wolf. I'm the Development Director of the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission. And to my right is Kimberly McKinney, our Grants Administrator. And we just wanted to come before you today and just give you a little bit of review about what the Rescue Mission is all about. and let you know what we're doing in our community and also what we're doing in your community specifically. So we've got a little bit of a slideshow for you. We just want to give you some factoids, just do some review, and just let you know what's going on over at the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission. So with that said, as you know, we were founded in 1971 just as a small little soup kitchen. We had some seed money from the Union Rescue Mission in LA. We went through a lot of changes over several decades, and we finally realized a dream, and we opened our new facility in November of 2011 on 3.5 acres that we acquired, and we've even expanded on that since then. We now have an emergency shelter, 10,000 square feet out back. It has 70 beds, and it's the front lines of the battlefield for us folks. You can go in there if you find yourself immediately or chronically homeless, and you can get yourself everything that you need, everything from a shower, clothing, case management, meals, you name it, and you can also get up to a 90-day stay. What's really great is that we have our women's shelter for moms with kids. We have 7 rooms that are absolutely totally full right now. With doubled up rooms, and we make every effort to make sure that women and children do not stay out on the streets for any reason. We have 2 programs. One of them is called Gateway. One of them is called New Life. The basic difference between the programs is the New Life program is a faith-based program, but they basically achieve the same goal. It's long-term programming and case management for everybody, and it's all about giving people a hand up and not a handout. All their needs are met while they're there, so they don't have to worry about their basic needs. But then we provide things like job skills training, counseling, basic education, everything that they need to get the skills and the tools necessary to succeed once it's time for them to leave the program. It's very, very successful. It's a very, very tried and true program, and we're actually very proud of it. And our success rate, once you leave our program, and if you're able to do everything that we ask you to do and you're able to maintain your independence, a year past graduation, our success rate's 82%. So we're very proud of that, and we're very proud of the fact that we're able to take people out off the streets and get them back to where they need to be, self-sustaining back in our communities. Our kitchen serves 300,000 meals a year. Part of that kitchen is Mission Catering, which is a bona fide catering service that is a job skills training tool for our clients. So they're able to get their food handlers cards, they're able to get their Serve Safe certifications, which is just another tool for them to find employment in a hospitality-based industry that we have here in the Coachella Valley. One of the things that we've instituted and really ramped up in the last couple of years is our street outreach program. We're really enthusiastic about our street outreach program. We are going to all 9 cities in the valley. We go out as far as Banning and Blythe at least once a week. Right now, we have shower trailers that we're pulling behind our outreach trucks. We're setting up mobile command centers. Now, since COVID hit, the command centers kind of went away just because of the way things were in the world. We're now starting to reestablish our command center locations. We have established a command center location in Cathedral City, and we're working on several more. And hopefully we're going to get one in DHS here very quickly. We're just we need to partner with some property owners that'll be willing to let us set up the shower trailers. We also have a medical clinic on site to help all of our clients, which is a really great thing. And all the clients are receiving mental health, emotional health, addiction, screening, as well as non-emergency medical care as well. New Life Resale Boutique operates in Coachella, another one of our job skills training sites. It's all about making sure that our clients have retail job skills that they can transfer over into independent living. With that said, can I get a little assistance? Can we get this video to play? Oh, there it goes. All right. With that said, folks, please enjoy this short video about the rescue mission.
Just 3 minutes.
For
over 50 years, the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission has loved and cared for homeless, hurting, and hopeless individuals in our Coachella Valley. We bring in hundreds of people every year and give them everything they need, from a warm meal to a clean set of clothes to programs offered. Whether you're coming in with an addiction, with an alcohol problem, with a domestic violence problem, with a senior that has become homeless, every single day we're here to help those in need. And today we have 307 people in our care. No one at the Rescue Mission leaves here without a complete plan that we have walked alongside them and helped them to achieve.
I've never seen so much support in one place in my life, you know. We basically gave everything up to come here in hopes of a better life, and that's exactly what they did. They gave me a new life.
Watching someone come in who's never had housing, never had a job, not being sure if they're going to make it, to being completely successful and on their own 2 feet, that to me is the best.
Just being able to give back. This facility, this establishment gives you the opportunity to do that.
Oh my God, it's not enough time to say what I want to say about the rescue mission, but I am so grateful that they were there. You know, it saved my life. If it wasn't for them, I would be sleeping in my car, and I'm a single woman, you know, a mother of 3 kids.
If I didn't come to the mission, I was ready to just give up, and I didn't really care if I woke up in the morning. It's a new lease on life. My morale is high, and you know, I'm looking forward to the future now.
I'm getting to know what my desires and my goals are. I don't have to depend on anything or anyone else but God, you know, because He led me to this place.
You know, the program has provided everything for me. If I needed clothes are there. If I needed hygiene products, it's there. Food. All they ask is that we put in our work and do our time and work the program to the best of our abilities, be courteous and help each other out, because we all live here together, and I don't think that's much to ask.
They absolutely open every door for you here. It's just a matter of you wanting to step through.
The mission actually helped me to start to grow. I became a man here at the mission.
The Coachella Valley Rescue Mission has helped thousands of people for over 50 years, every day and every night. 24/7, we're open here at the Rescue Mission to take people in need. Today, I'm asking you to consider a partnership with us of your time, treasure, and talents. You are what make us whole and able to do what we do. So thank you, and know that we love and appreciate you.
So, folks, I'm going to turn the mic over to Miss Kimberly. She's going to share some factoids with you and answer some of your questions. So thank you.
So actually, I'm the grant manager. So I interface with the county and all the cities here in the Coachella Valley. And we take meticulous statistics for all of you to make decisions on whether or not you want to support us. So in 2021, in the middle of COVID, we stayed open the whole time. We had 270 individuals for 2 years that we sheltered in place with. So that meant if they left, they had to have a COVID test before they could come back in. We all wear masks, we all disinfect, we disinfect our offices, we wipe down the mattresses, and it was very, very successful until this last COVID variant. We got hit, but it was a mild one, and most people didn't even have symptoms. But we are successful here in the Valley about making sure that we have 150 people not only graduate in a 9-month program, they have a job, they have a house. We help them furnish their house with our thrift store. We give them training at the mission in 7 different skill areas that all are compatible with the Coachella Valley and businesses here that would be looking for employees. And a lot of the casinos and the restaurants, they actually come to us with their job offerings because they know that the 6 months that they're training, maybe in the kitchen or in facilities, they're actually getting reviewed every month, just like you would in a regular job. They are helped up and given all the extra training that they need, everything to make them successful when they finally are on their own. Once they're on their own, you know, everybody lives paycheck to paycheck now in this economy, 5.9% inflation is a little tough on everybody, especially the poor. So they can always come back. Matter of fact, anybody can come back. Anybody from Desert Hot Springs, anyone across the valley. If you're coming from Arizona and you ran out of food, stop by. We'll give you a sack lunch if you're just coming by. We have food boxes that we can arrange in 24 hours, and it'll feed a family of 4 for a week. So the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission really does lots of things that I think are sort of secret, or not secret, but they're just, we do it every day. It's just part of our lives. But you all don't see it. You see the homeless on the streets. When we take a woman in with her children, she was she could have lost her children. If CPS finds a woman on the streets with her children, they take them. So we just had a woman with 5 children, was 4, and she's pregnant this last summer, who had a CPS case since 2014 because she kept relapsing and relapsing with crack cocaine. So she graduated our program. She has all her children back. That's something that CVRM does. It works with the court system and the probation system to reunite the mothers and the fathers with their children so that they can be a whole family unit once they're out. So she lives in Blythe, and she's got all of her children, and first time in her life she hasn't had a CPS case. So I just wanted to say, come on by. We'd love to. I know that Jan's come by before and Russell's come by before, but we'd love to see you all and do a tour of the mission, because it's a little bit different than the preconceived notion that people have of a mission. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We really do appreciate the time. You have yourselves a wonderful day, and if you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer those questions right now.
Let me run down the counts real quick. I just wanted to say you guys do a fantastic program. I've been fortunate enough to be asked to judge the art contest that you have each year before COVID.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know, you're going to get back to that soon, hopefully?
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope.
It was always great to come down there and do that. It's a wonderful program. And just to see the art, and you can actually feel the pain from some of your artists there on what they've gone through and the journey. So it's awesome. I don't have any specific questions. You've got my support on, what we can do to work together and move forward on trying to provide for the people in need in our valley.
That's wonderful.
Mr. Mayor, we just want to say thank you for the opportunity to reconnect with you folks. And we're always here for you, and we're always here for your community. So thank you very much.
Great. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Jan?
I want to talk to you.
Me?
Well, both of you.
Okay.
And I and staff want to talk to you. It's about something we want to bring to the city council. So
Okay.
I don't want you to just walk away.
Okay. Do you want us to stay here today? Or,
No.
do you want my card, Jan?
Yes.
Okay.
Just put your cards right there with the city clerk, and then
Okay.
we're going to take a break here, and Jan can probably come down and talk with you real quick.
Okay.
Roger, anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we just got an Amber Alert, Flex Energy report.
Turn the lights off.
Yeah, end of the meeting here. What, do you guys offer mental health wraparound services for your clients?
We do. So SAC Healthcare is on our campus and sets up appointments. But if they already have their IHP or any of the other providers in our area, then we'll send them to their own providers' doctors, and we provide transportation. We just have, also with the veterans, we have a service through our 4th District Supervisor, Manny Perez, to take veterans from the mission and take them to Loma Linda Hospital, wait for them, and then bring them back. So I have about 35 rides that are available. So if you have some veterans that can't get to the hospital, I mean, we try to do everything we can to accommodate any needs. Also, I have a senior grant for people over 55 that have an emergency. You're working, you don't have any money, your tires are bald and you can't get to work, or you need a tank of gas. If you're over 55, there's an application process, and I can use a credit card to pay for something for them. But it's a limited amount of money, but we did an air conditioner for an 82-year-old. I just did eyeglasses for a 82-year-old. We're going to do dental work on a formerly homeless 72-year-old. So if I can find it and I can think of it, we'll try to do it.
I appreciate it. Also, if I can get a little bit more stats in the future about Desert Hot Springs, how many clients you see, how many times you guys are out
So-
here, and then also maybe you have a schedule when you guys do come out here, let us know ahead of time. That way we can get that information out to our residents as soon as possible.
Okay, that's
Thank you, ma'am.
wonderful. And I have them all. I do them every month.
Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you again for coming. You do have a fantastic organization, and as we sit here contemplating what we need to do as a community to address and serve our homeless residents, you are going to be an integral part of that. I know Councilwoman Pai is heading up our homeless efforts as part of her role on CVAG, and look to her leadership on that, working with you. But you are going to be an important community player. And the key, I think, to this is not necessarily solving it, because I don't know if it's entirely solvable, but it is to work as a coordinated effort regionally. Not, you know, we can fix it here, but a lot of our people just move down valley to another city, or another city does something, they move down here. So we have to attack this as a regional thing, and I do appreciate all of the efforts that you guys do, because you do a fantastic job.
Thank you. We do coordinate with other agencies, the county, the state, and the federal government. So in all the efforts to help the homeless in the whole valley, just not in Indio.
Councilmember Betts?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity you gave me a while back, whenever that was before COVID, to take a very detailed tour of the facility. It was very enlightening, and of course, thanks for everything you do. I'd like to thank the rest of the council. We'd like to see what we can do to offer some more support for what you're doing down there. And just thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you. And I have ideas, so if you need somebody with ideas, I'll be happy to help.
Well, we all try to work on the issues, but right now Ms. Pai's really working on the issues, so I think she's going to meet with you. Thank you again. We're going to take a 8-minute break, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to call to order the City of Desert Hot Springs regular meeting of the City Council, and the City Council serving as the successor agency to the former Redevelopment Agency Board for Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. This is our 6 p.m. regular session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Betts.
Present.
Councilmember Nunez.
Present.
Councilmember Pai.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Gardner.
Present.
And Mayor Mattis.
Present. I don't see the person who's going to give us our invocation in the audience, so I'm going to ask Pastor Baylor. We invited him up for the proclamation earlier. We're going to put him to work now. If you can give us the invocation, it'd be great.
Let us pray. Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to come address the business at hand for the city of Desert Hot Springs. We ask for your blessings for each and every council member, as well as the mayor, as well as those who are staffed here in support of everything that needs to be done. We pray, Father God, that everything will be done decently and in order, and that those who will come forth with their issues and concerns will be allowed to express themselves in a way and in a manner that is pleasing in your eyesight, and that the results will be positive, and that we can all go away with an understanding that everything is going to be all right in spite of all of the challenges that we're faced with in the 21st century. We ask for these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Amen again.
Thank you so much. Amen. All right, we're going to move to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think Mr. Betts said it last time, so Mr. Gardner, I'm coming down this way. Your turn.
Put your hand over your heart and join me in saluting our nation's flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam City Attorney, report on closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. We have no reportable action.
At this time, we're going to approve the agenda. Does anyone want to speak on the consent calendar that's in the audience? We have, I believe, 2 items on the consent calendar. See nobody coming forth. Is there anyone on the council who'd like to pull one of those 2 items? All right, we'll at this time take a motion to approve the consent calendar and hold on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, we're going to move to public comments. At this time, pursuant to the Brown Act, any person may comment on matters of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council, not listed on the agenda. Under the Brown Act, the City Council shall not take action on or discuss matters raised during public comment portion of the agenda that are not listed on the agenda. All comments are be directed to the City Council and shall be devoid of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain professional, courteous decorum during public comments. I have speaker cards. I'm going to start with Jennifer Shannon. You'll have 3 minutes. 3 minutes will be on the board once you start.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? Thank you for your time. I appreciate everyone. I would like to say thank you to the mayor, to town council, to the city workers, the police department, and fire department for all your hard work. I know it's not an easy task to run an entire town, so we appreciate everything. This is my first time ever speaking at a public event, so I appreciate your candor with me, but I am here today to present a fall festival at the Desert Hot Springs Resort and Miracle Springs. We have submitted the event, and we are hoping that maybe we can go through a couple of highlights of it just to give everyone clarity of what type of event it is and things like that. Basically, it's not really a huge music fest or anything like that. This is a very laid back, very chill type of event. It has a lot of photo opportunities. It's, public vendors like, local town vendors and things like that. It's a way for us to really bring economy to our area. It's a way to bring tourism. It's a way to bring in destination packages for our resorts, for our hotels, things like that. The events that we're looking to do continuously, it's something that we would like to build. It's something that we would like to grow over the years with the town and with our local businesses and things like that. Has anyone been familiar with this package yet that we submitted
This
yet?
is your time to speak to the council.
Oh.
We can't have it back and forth.
Okay, I apologize. Basically, it's a fall festival. We will have food vendors. We will have local stores and organizations with booths and things like that that can raise awareness of different organizations that we have in our town, kind of like the last one that I just seen a few minutes ago. They would be able to have a booth and things like that to kind of interact with our residents, but it's also a way to bring in tourists. And we would be marketing this through Expedia. We would be marketing it through our different platforms that we do reservations through and whatnot. We were just really hoping that in, the interest of time, because unfortunately this is something that would be in October, that we would submit this to all of you and present that tonight. We're in a short bracket and kind of need to know yes or no, because it's something that would require some building as far as the props go and things for the photo opportunities. It's not something that's just vendors setting up. It's actually something that would be enclosed in our parking lot. We're looking, if you know where the spa restaurant and hotel is, we have a big parking lot area. We also have our private areas that we would have for parking as far as our resident guests go, for Miracle and for the spa. We would be looking at other areas that Mr. Bickford owns around the town that we could do for parking and bring in shuttle buses to bring people back and forth to the event to try to control the traffic and things like that.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you off. That's 3 minutes right there. The city council doesn't make the total decision on those, so I'm hoping that city staff will be able to help you through the process.
Thank you
And
so
we
much
wish
for
you
your
best-
time.
best
I
on
really
that.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Next speaker is going to be Roberta Rodriguez.
Hello, I'm Roberta Rodriguez, and I'm an adult lap swimmer at the Desert Hot Springs Public Pool, and I'm here with my other lap swimmers. And so first I want to thank you, Nick, for talking to us when we were here the last time, and then making Roberta, and I apologize for not knowing everybody's last name, but Roberta, who moved quickly, and we got an extra month, and so we're there full force doing our laps. And you guys are all invited, obviously. Okay. So I just want to give a lot of gratitude to you guys or the city of Desert Hot Springs for doing that for us. But talking to my other fellow swimmers, I just want to let you guys know that we're really, really interested in having more months open to us. I don't like to use this word very often for myself, but for senior swimmers, because not all of us are doing chair yoga. There's a lot of us that are doing more activities, and so I'm one of the representatives, and I'm grateful that you guys are here, and thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Rainbow Casey?
Hi, thank you so much for letting me talk. I'm not really the designated speaker for my group, but I'm the other one who's speaking on behalf of those of us who swim every morning at the pool. I also do have a list here of a lot of people who are there every day. Can I give this to you? I know that there have been issues, I know with lifeguards. I just want to share that I last year went to the identical pool in Santa Rosa, California, and all of the lifeguards were seniors. I mean, they were really seniors. And so I know that usually we're looking at young people, but I just, I'm trying to think out of the box. We really want this pool open year round. We know that it's open for the high school and that they're using it and that you have to, keep the water heated. I just want to speak for myself. I'm a medical doctor and my specialty is actually longevity. I work with women over 40 to stop the aging process. I'm 75. In the last couple of years, I've had 4 surgeries for broken bones. I've had 2 hip surgeries and 2 elbow surgeries. I had a car accident and destroyed my knee and my ankle, and my body's kind of a mess, although I feel like I'm in very good health because I practice what I preach. But I am in very good health because I swim every day. And I know that there are a lot of us who are seniors there who are in the same boat. It hurts to walk. It hurts with their artificial joints or with their arthritis. And I know if you look at some of the physical therapy that's recommended for people, and the first thing they say is aquatics. And not to mention the mental effects. I talk to everybody there and they say, this really helps me feel happy. I know for me too, it's a good day when I swim. So I know there are issues for you with keeping, the expense of keeping the water warm. I don't know if we would be willing to help with fundraising, but we do feel like it's a really important thing. Oh, the other thing I need to mention, this pool is unique. It's 7 feet deep, and I don't think there's another pool anywhere in the valley that is deep enough that when you're in the water, you're not touching. I know for me, when I do some of the exercises in the shallow, it hurts my knee, and other people say that too. So the fact that it's deep, we can, we get better exercise. I also work with weights in the water, and it's the most wonderful pool I've ever been in, and I think it's absolutely unique, and we love it.
Thank you. Emery Lesko?
Hi, Mr. Mayor, staff, and staff, I guess, and city councilman. Jen Shannon, who works for us, is an amazing person. She's done these same events in Indiana and the Chicago area. She came to us a few months ago, and I'm like, oh God, this girl's crazy. But she showed us photos, and she showed us how it brought a community together. And that's what really turned me on. I was like, wow, okay, because we got a lot of different groups in this city, good and bad. But if we could bring them all together in a place where, everybody's having a good time, their kids, people, everything, I think it's a win-win for the city and for the residents. And that's all I really have to say, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Tom Moen?
Good evening. It's nice to be here tonight, and I don't see him here, but I understand Sean Smith is the new economic director for the city.
I'm not going to point him out.
There he is.
Hey, welcome, Sean.
There he is.
Welcome, Sean.
And he's highly thought of around, and I think highly of him too. And I wanted to mention just some things about the Desert Hot Springs Spa Hotel. We're having our 43rd anniversary. It was opened by Michael Bickford on September 1, 1979. And he's been in business here a long, long time. And here's some facts about both properties. The Miracle Springs Hotel, between the two properties, they returned to the city of Desert Hot Springs over $1 million a year in transit occupancy tax. That's a good part of the city budget. And a couple other things we'd like to draw attention to is Highway 62 is getting to be a dangerous highway. And I'd like to ask our city to do a study and maybe find a way to make it safer. It's the most used entry into the city by travelers. Your Google Maps and things like that on your phone will bring you Highway 62, Pearson Boulevard. So that's very important. Also, we need to bring people into the town, and maybe we can have some cooperation. We have over 10,000 day guests in a month at the pools, at the spa and the Miracle. Rooms. We rent over 4,000 rooms between the two places every month, bringing about 7,200 people into town to stay, to spend money, to help the other businesses. We are proud to be in Desert Hot Springs. We're glad to be in Desert Hot Springs. And I appreciate the opportunity to share 3 minutes with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Jeffrey Holman. Jeffrey Holman's the last speaker card that I have. Anyone would like to speak in the audience? This will be the last call.
Hello, Mayor, City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to come speak and your time. I'm here first representing the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce, and thank you at the last meeting for supporting us and moving forward in a partnership with us. A few updates from the Chamber. We've been conducting regular city walks throughout the city once every 2 weeks, talking to local businesses. Azure Palms recently signed up, and we are holding a mixer there on November 2nd, which everyone's invited to. More information on that can be found at gcvcc.org. We're also in negotiations with Casablanca, Aqua Soleil, Delicious, and Microbuttery for the same type of events and membership profiles. So we are also in the preliminary exploratory phase for how we want to be involved in the spa tour. I know that's something the city's interested in, I believe, and we are interested in it as well. After we finish some initial investigation, we'll be reaching out to city staff on how we want to be involved in a spa tour. Now switching hats. Hi, I'm Jeff, representing the Rotary Club of Desert Hot Springs. Right. A few announcements from the Rotary Club. We have a health and job fair coming up at the Health and Wellness Center, October 22nd. As many of the city staff know, we have the Happy Healthy Halloween event taking place October 29th at Mission Springs Park. And our comedy night, which I know several of you have attended before, is coming back finally on November 5th at Miracle Springs. Miracle Springs. So more information on that can be found on our website, dhsrotary.org. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Jay. I have no other speaker cards. Would anybody like to speak to the City Council that has not already spoke? I see nobody coming forth. We'll close public comments at this time. We'll go to City Manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have two recent staff additions that I'd like to present before we go to department updates. I'm not going to ask them to come up because I don't want to put them on the spot, but Kyle, would you stand up from the back and wave? Kyle Morris has been hired as a network engineer in preparation of our dispatch center and our growing needs from the public safety campuses and the recreation center to help support the IT department. He comes to us from Amazon, where he worked for 7 years, and he moved up 4 positions, the final one being a network engineer, and now he is the city's network engineer. So welcome, Kyle. And the second one is Sean Smith, who I am going to bring up because we had a conversation about this. So we did an extensive recruitment for an economic development director. We had over 16 applicants, and we unanimously agreed that Sean would be the best person for this position. He most recently worked with Visit Greater Palm Springs and overall has about 20 years of experience in redevelopment, housing, marketing, and of course economic development right here in the Coachella Valley. He has a bachelor's degree from San Diego State University in public administration and a master's degree in public policy and administration from Cal State Long Beach. So welcome, Sean. Say hello.
Well, good evening, Mayor, City Council. Thank you so much for that introduction, Mr. Rainey. I appreciate that. To say I'm excited to be here is quite the understatement. I feel very grateful and honored to be part of this team and part of the city's economic development efforts moving forward. There's so much opportunity. Everybody I speak to in the community echoes that sentiment, and I can't wait to get started. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome both Kyle and Sean. And Sean, before you leave, I just want you to say on the record that no one held you hostage to take this job, correct? Because I've been getting a lot of emails from people you worked for in the Coachella Valley, and they are very sad to see you go, but very happy for your position here with us.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Sean. Okay, now we'll move over to our finance director to give an update on our financial highlights.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. So for our preliminary and audited numbers for fiscal year 21-22 as of September 6th, we have revenues of $28.1 million, which is at 89% of the budget. Last year, and the end of last fiscal year 2021 was $25.7 million. At the end of fiscal year 19-20 was $23 million. Our expenditures for last fiscal year, the 21-22 year, was $27.7 million, which was at 88% of the budget. For fiscal year 2021, expenditures were $24.7 million, which were 91% of the budget. And for 19-20, the expenditures were $22.4 million at 93% of the budget.
Thanks, Jeffrey. And then we have quite a few updates from our very busy Public Works Director, Nick Haker.
Good evening. Yeah, it's been a busy summer, so I'll try to make them quick. The Police Department Dispatch Center, the tenant improvements are complete. The Rotary Dog Park, the upgrades to create a large dog area is completed. Currently, we're designing a better notification for the large dog area and the small dog area. Mission Springs Park has quite a few projects going on currently. The Musco Lights, which is part of the park upgrade project. These new light towers are on the south side of the field. The shipping container storage for AYSO and DHS Eagles youth football and cheer. The containers will be located on the west side of the field. The tree removals and installation, trees on the south side of the park that are dying or have thorns will be removed, and installation of new trees that offer year-round shade will be installed. The annual overseeding, the park grass area will be closed till November 23rd for the listed construction projects and the overseeding. DHS Eagles youth football and cheer will be relocated to Waterman Park during this closure. Palm Drive North project. Palm Drive North is scheduled to start in October and is scheduled to end in March. 2 weeks before the start of the construction, signs will be installed to let the public know that the project will be starting. The project is on Palm from Pearson Boulevard to Mission Lakes Boulevard. Rancho del Oro drainage clearing. This is the clearing of all the shrubs and the drainage and the retention basin in Rancho del Oro, getting us ready for the rainy season. And for Indian Canyon Drive at Coachella Street improvements, the asphalt work for this street wide widening is completed. Contractor is working with MSWD on lifting manholes and valve cams. The next step will do the striping. For county projects, Mountain View Road resurfacing project. The road closure has ended, but construction is still ongoing. Flaggers will be used to control traffic in this area. The work zone is on Mountain View Road from Hacienda to Dillon Road. The project is scheduled to be completed within 3 to 4 weeks. And Indian Canyon and Dillon traffic signal. The repairs are being scheduled for tomorrow. As always, we encourage everyone to use precaution in and around construction zones. If there's any issues or concerns for any of these projects, please contact Public Works. For project updates, visit the Public Works News at the city's website. Thank you. This completes my update.
Luke, can you give Nick something to do?
Thanks, Nick. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We're going to move to council member comments. I think I started down there last time. I'll start down here this time.
Good. I think Nick will have something to do once the construction starts on the roads. Everybody complains they want the road fixed, and then as soon as the road's been torn up, then here come the calls. So we direct them to you, right? Okay, good. It's been a long time away. How long we've been on break? I don't know. It seems like a long time. I know, and you know, it's been really, really busy, and I don't want to take up an hour here of everything that I've been doing for the past, was it a month and a half, or whatever it is, since we've been dark. Let's cover a couple of things. I mean, I've been to the meetings. While everything shuts down, you still got these meetings, outside meetings with Sunline, Airport Land Use Commission, Southern California Association of Governments. We had a Vaughn's rebranding, reopening, which was nice. There's just been a lot of activity going on, so just because we weren't here doesn't mean we were off at the beach somewhere, although I wish I had been. I did take note of the issues regarding the Furby pool, and I think it'd be a great idea to have that as a conversation. I'd love to see that get on the agenda where we could discuss. I mean, there's some practical matters involved in that. There's been a lot of online discussion on the social media, and it'd be nice to see something get brought out here so the council could hash that out. A lot of people want that pool open year round. We got to hear from the finance guy and a whole bunch of other people on that one. And of course on Highway 62, everybody wonders why the intersection went at Dillon and not at Pearson. And I think everybody recognizes that needs to get corrected. So that was good to have those comments. All the comments are really good. Every time they come up here, it's the best time of the meeting when the public shows up and says, hi, here's what we want to see happen. And you hear people on Facebook saying, well, why can't we have this? Why can't we have that? Well, here we got a group of people who have actually showed up at this podium and taken the time to say, okay, if this is how you get it done, this is how you bring it to our attention. This is when we meet as a group to hear this stuff. So thanks for coming. On that note, we had a couple of people who were very, very involved in this city, watched it intensely. They would show up at planning commission meetings if they needed to, public safety commission meetings if they called for it, and certainly a lot of council meetings. And both of them have passed, and it was really sad for me because I relied on both of them a great deal. And I think at the next council meeting, I'd like to do something a little bit more, but right now I can't let any more time go without mentioning the passing of Lou Stewart and Bob Terry. When I had somebody who was been called up by a landlord and said, hey, the landlord just sent me a notice, I got to be out in 3 days, what do? I got to find a moving van. I'd call up Lou and say, Lou, I need some help here, I got to understand this. And he'd say, tell him, don't ignore that notice, there's no such notice as a 3-day get out. And just provided immense help and expertise to the residents here. And Bob was all over issues from the Salton Sea to whatever else, and both came as such a loss to me and I think to this city for their involvement. So I want to just recognize them here. And then on the 21st is a commemoration for 21st of September for Lou Stewart, and hope everybody will turn out. And then Bob and Lou, just miss you guys immensely. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. As Councilmember Betts noted, we've been off, but we've still been busy. Nick, the large dog park had turned out fantastic. It's getting rave reviews, including my own. Miss Luna gives it 4 paws and a wag. It's fantastic. The views are amazing, and I think we're going to attract people from the other side of the valley to come over and use our dog park. So good job on that. I thought it was intriguing the folks that came up on the Furby pool. They were here for a meeting a while back too, but didn't bring it up. But one of the biggest problems we have is finding lifeguards, and senior lifeguards. If you can find us some senior lifeguards, I think that's a long way to going towards it. Because that was the biggest problem we had, was finding lifeguards to keep it open. I was honored to be able to present to the First Baptist Church the proclamation from the city honoring them for their 75th anniversary. It's, you know, they've been in the city longer than the city's been a city. So it was a great event, and Councilmember Pai was there with me, and I was very happy to be able to do that. And one last thing, in addition to this and all of the other committees that we serve on, I get the honor of being the guy that programs the Desert Hot Springs Historical Society soup suppers, finding the speakers and all of that. And their first fall soup supper is coming up on Thursday, September 29th at Mission Lakes Country Club. And this is going to be a really cool program. Warner Graves lives down the road in Whitewater. He's going to be discussing his book about his grandmother, a woman by the name of Lula Graves, who, along with her friend Susie Keefe, settled out in Mecca about the same time Cabot Yerkson wandered his way up here with Merry Christmas and poked a hole in the hill and found water. These two remarkable ladies were the postmasters of Mecca back in the early part of the last century. And they traveled all over the desert between here and the Colorado River, driving an old Model A or a mule or walking, and they explored and took an awful lot of photos of the desert back then, including some of the ones we have around City Hall here. You'll notice some of the black and white pictures, some of them that show the city in 2-bunch palms and stuff when there was nobody here. And they were the ones that took those and sold them as postcards from the post office in Mecca. The book is called Postcards from Mecca. It's an absolutely fascinating story. Soup supper is, like I said, on the 29th, $25 for Historical Society members, $30 for non-members, and you get tickets online at dhshistoricalsociety.com. That's all I've got.
Thanks. Mr. Nunez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to also thank everybody for coming out tonight and speaking, and I do echo my fellow council members' sentiments about the pool. I think we can definitely try to work something out and see what we can come together. I would love to see a nonprofit organization, you know, basically have its own flourish home for swimming and for activities. So that might be an idea. The only other thing I have, Mr. Mayor, is that I got a chance during our break to review the LAFCO report. I wasn't too happy to see it. It seems like a lot of cut and paste. So I'm going to see if I can get support from the council and also some staff to challenge this report to see what we can do to really have details either cleared up or fixed. There was a lot of pages that kind of were a lot of rhetoric and didn't have a lot of input, a lot of teeth. I want to say that, and I would hate to say this, but I feel that LAFCO has been doing this to communities, disenfranchised communities for many years, where they give portions of the city, sphere of influences, to more influential cities rather than disparity cities. I've seen this in other cities like Banning, Hemet, and also in the city of Coachella. So I think it's time for that we hold LAFCO accountable and see what we can do to start working with them to really get the lines drawn fairly and equitably. So I hope I can get support from not only council but staff to challenge this report on LAFCO. Thank you.
Ms. Pye.
Swimming. You've heard from all of the council, so I don't need to say anything else. We heard you. Jeff, I like the fact that you're doing things for the council, but I need to tell you, I've got quite a few people that are happy to hear about your comedy night. So I've got some people for you to call so you can get them off of me. Also, Francisco Castro, he is the new executive director and who will be introduced to the city shortly for a presentation. And that's it.
Great. I'm going to try to be brief, but there was a lot going on the last 6 weeks we were off. I Jeff Cole wasn't able to make it tonight. He's the director over at the VFW here, just outside Desert Hot Springs, and they're having a remembrance ceremony for, bless you, remembrance ceremony for 9/11 on September 11th. It's a Sunday, and it'll be at the VFW at 11 a.m., and there will be a lunch served also. I believe there might be a fee for the lunch, but if you get a chance to support our VFW, and it's a good little ceremony, so it'll be good to go. I did attend the Riverside County Transportation Commission general meeting, and they did have a budget meeting. Nothing directly pertaining to the city of Desert Hot Springs. I won't bore you with the details on that. During our break, we did call a special meeting, and we celebrated 2 of our local Little League teams making it past the normal rounds of playoffs, and so that was fun. You can find that, I think, on our website to see the celebration there. I wanted to shout out to our local mixed martial arts studio, Kihan Mixed Martial Arts. I believe it was 4 girls that went across the world to Dubai to compete. One is a champion, and I'm going to get wrong the rest of them, so I'm not even going to try to see where they came in, but I'll be making arrangements at the next meeting to recognize them for their contribution to our community and going across the world to really represent the United States, but not just the United States, the city of Desert Hot Springs. Pretty fantastic. As was alluded to, our local Vons that are rebranding. About every 5, 6, 7 years, they're able to take capital improvements and put them back into the community that they support. And they did that to this store here and it was great to go down. We were all invited, and that doesn't happen very often. The reason I wanted to talk a little bit about it was that the district director pulled me to the side on my way out, shook my hand, and said, "You're the only second mayor out of the 15 years I've been doing this to show up to one of these." And to have the rest of your council there also was fantastic. So it really shows support in our community compared to what happens in other communities. If you haven't seen our dispatch center, I don't think there's going to be another opening for it, but I'm sure you can make arrangements for our police department if you'd like to walk through, but they'll be operating out there very, very soon. And it is literally the most state-of-the-art dispatch center in the state of California. We wanted it to be that, but we were also forced financially to do that by the state of California. So I just wanted to get it out there and talk about this. This is something that you, as the people of Desert Hot Springs, have asked for years, to bring that back to our city. And our police chiefs led this effort to make sure that this happens in our community with our staff. And I'm thrilled that it's back here and they'll be open soon. There's a lot of miscommunication out there about how this dispatch center was paid for, but we used some federal funding that was given to the local cities, and then there will be some reimbursement from the 911 taxes that we all pay back to our city. Actually, a pretty significant reimbursement. So there's a lot of ways we did this. Was stated that it was $1.7 million, but I really wanted to bring that back, that some of that will be reimbursed to the city of Desert Hot Springs. That leads me into another thing. I try to stay off of social media as much as possible because there's a no-win situation and it's a one-sided story, right? But there are a lot of things that are said on there, and then it takes a life of its own. It becomes trial by social media, and it's not always fair. But there was a comment about a fee that was, was going to be imposed for somebody that wanted to come to the police department and get something done. And I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but the ridiculous comments that were made on there about our staff was going to pocket the money and other things like that. They were going to pocket $20. Chief, are you paying them enough? Come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous on some of the things that's said there. But when it comes to a nexus study, we do them on a regular basis. The city of Desert Hot Springs can't make money. We can't profit off of anything. The study that's done is on the staffing, the time, and the how long it takes to get that job done. Yes, the city of Desert Hot Springs has hundreds and hundreds of fees, and not always can we see every little fee. So if you're concerned about a fee, please bring it to our attention. We'll try to explain it to you in a very professional way that hopefully you'll be able to understand it better. Yes, there are agencies that do charge less, and yes, there's agencies that do charge more. But our fees are done because of the staffing levels that we have and what we can provide for the city of Desert Hot Springs. I was also asked to do an interview with KESQ on the blow sand study. That is the sand area from Palm Drive over the freeway, Indian Canyon, some Varner area, lots of Desert Hot Springs area. And this is a study that we brought forth through the Coachella Valley Association of Governments a couple years ago, or started talking about it a couple years ago in depth, had a preliminary study done, and then at the transportation meeting last week, we voted to support there was only one proposer to the RFP, but this person is very familiar with it, so we'll be working on the study. I was able to do an interview with the TV along with the director of CVAG, and I just want to reassure you that this isn't something that's probably going to get done tomorrow, but it's something that's in the works, and we're looking for lots of solutions to be able to keep that roadway open for the only trauma center in the valley. That's very important. Let alone we have thousands of people leaving this community to work in those areas all the time and can't get across the freeway. We're looking at innovative ideas on how to get that done. Desert Hot Springs Eagles youth football has started their season also. Their first home game is the 17th of this month, so you can come out and support them. They play at the high school on those Saturdays that they're at home, and that's age groups Pee Wee, which I want to say is 5-ish, up till before they get to high school, so middle school. So it's great. I believe there's about 100 kids involved, and I want to say like 60 girls involved in cheer. So it's a great program. Please go out and support them if you can. I want to thank you to the Rotary Club. I was able to go out and speak on behalf of the city and give a little. They asked me about once a year to come out and give kind of an update, and so I wanted to thank them for that and all that they do for our community. As Mr. Holman stood up and spoke about, they'll be having a Happy Halloween event again that has been put on for many years before COVID, and they're going to go back to doing that. So that's really important for the community to be able to get out, and then they're going to be having this job fair real soon, which is really also important. The pool, ladies, we've heard you. We racked our brain each year. Let's see what we can do this year. You never know. We might be able to squeeze out $1 or something. We'll see if Sean can go sell something and get Desert Hot Springs some more tax revenue. And no pressure your first day. Really, no pressure at all, Sean. Highway 62 has been talked about a lot. I represent the city for transportation. I've had multiple emails with your boss, Mr. Moen, and others in your organization. I know you keep bringing it forth. We are in the works. I know that our assistant city manager has been working with Caltrans. We're going to have a better update probably in the next 30 days would be reasonable to say. I have two more comments. This first one, I just wanted to say our hearts go out to, as Mr. Betts was alluding to, losing community leaders. We lost a community leader that a lot of us didn't even know. A few of us did, but if you ever driven by the skate park on West, I want to say Hacienda, West and Pearson, just above the fire station there, it's named after Frank Hodges. He was a longtime sergeant in the police department here, and he had a really good rapport with our kids in our community, and that's kind of, I believe, the thought pattern on the city council at the time was to name it after him and hoping that they would, respect that park. Unfortunately, he passed away just recently, and so we wanted to shout out to his family and say all our hearts are thinking about you and your family and what he did for our community. So thank you. And then last, this is something that's really bothered me. I'm not going to get into details because it probably can't at this time because there's an open investigation, but any planning commissioner, city council member, any commissioner, committee member, anyone serving the city of Desert Hot Springs should never be threatened. And most recently there was one. It's the first time in the 16 years I think I've been on city council that I can remember that a commissioner was because of their decision. And I hope and pray that that us serving can get heated over debates and issues and things that we might not see eye to eye on, but never come to physical violence or threatening to hurt a person in our community. I will do everything I can in my power as mayor. I'm sure the city council will support me with our legal teams and our police department to make sure that that will never happen again. Thank you. All right, we're going to move to the administrative calendar. We only have 3 items tonight, so we're going to try to move through these as quick as possible. We'll start with the first one. Item number 5 is the award of professional services agreement for the engineering design of line C1 storm drain improvements. Mr. Haker or?
Me, yes. Good evening, City Council and Mayor. On April 9th, 2022, the city entered into a funding agreement with Riverside County Flood Control and Water Conservation District for the completion of the design and construction of the Line C1 Storm Drain Improvement Project, which is identified in the City of Desert Hot Springs Master Drainage Plan. The project will include the design and construction of a new storm drain that will extend from Deodar Avenue to Panorama Drive and will eliminate flooding from the intersections of Deodar Avenue and Redbud Road to Panorama Drive and Calle Amapola, while preventing road closures to Hacienda Avenue and other streets in the area. On July 6, 2022, the City of Desert Hot Springs released a request for proposal for engineering design of the Line C1 Storm Drain Improvement Project and was posted on the city's website. The RFP closed on August 3rd, 2022, and the city received 7 proposals. Staff completed independent evaluations for each proposal and ranked each firm. After staff completed the qualification evaluations, the bid proposals were reviewed and accepted based on competitiveness. The staff found Albert A. Webb Associates Incorporated to be the most qualified consultant. Staff recommends that the City Council authorize the city manager to execute the professional services agreement for the design of the Line C1 Storm Drain Improvement Project with Albert A. Webb Associates Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $336,052 with a contingency of $33,605 for any additional work as approved by the city, which brings the total budget of $369,657 with substantive changes not including price to be negotiated and executed by the city manager.
Do I have any public comments on this item? Anybody like to come forth and speak to it? Final call. I'll close public comments and I'll go to City Council for questions.
A couple of questions. So in the fiscal impact, I had to ask this question to staff, and they pointed it out quickly. Thank you. We're being reimbursed all $336,052 by the county, plus what was the contingency? 10%?
Mm-hmm, correct.
So that's all. This isn't coming out of our budget, correct?
No.
Okay. And we had bids that ranged from 336, then 352, 336,000, 352,000, 367,000, 340,000, and then 3 that were relatively considerably lower. And you're just determined that those ones that were considerably lower were not responsive, correct?
They were not. We just felt that the other applicant was, or other respondent was more qualified.
Okay. And that's not unusual for that to happen. It's, the public, because they're tearing into this thing, why don't you take the one for 149? And there's a huge disparity between 149 and 336. And through the process, we go through and make sure that sometimes you get what you pay for, and I'm sure this is the case.
Correct.
The only other question I have is, I don't want to be an engineer, but the map that we have on here that shows can we put that up on the screen by any chance? It shows, this map is showing north going to the left instead of up, but this really would be turned around, and so the downhill flow starts at Diridor, goes down to Hacienda, then takes a 90-degree turn, and then another 90-degree turn before heading down to, what's that, a catch basin down at the end?
It will connect to an existing storm drain near that basin.
Okay. And who drew these lines?
Riverside County Flood Control. Yeah.
So they're the ones who engineered this and said that's what they want Webb to deal with?
It's in a preliminary alignment, correct, and now we will be doing the design for this. So that may change.
Ideally would be to go in a straight line though, right?
Well, there's houses there, so.
Yeah, I know, but every engineer I've ever talked to that deals with storm drains, you go online, says 90 degrees are real problematic, and we got a problem there. So I guess that's the problem with not putting in the storm drains first and then building the city afterwards. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you. I just want to make sure it was clear that for everybody in the public that this is money that's being reimbursed to us. It's not coming out of our funding. Thank you.
Any other comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Please move and second on the screen. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 6 is the agreement with the Riverside County for Camino Campanero, Avenida Descanso, and Camino Aventura Slurry Seal Project. Jillian?
Yes, Camino Campanero, Avenida Descanso, and Camino Aventura are currently in need of roadway improvements due to the age of the asphalt, existing cracks, potholes, and the deterioration of the existing striping. The County of Riverside is proposing to slurry seal streets in this area, which includes work outside of the county's jurisdiction and within the city limits. The portions of roadway that are located within the City of Desert Hot Springs limits are the north side of Camino Campanero between Avenida Descanso and Avenida Manzana, the west side of Avenida Descanso between Camino Aventura and Camino Campanero, and Camino Aventura between Palm Drive and Avenida Descanso. The county has requested that the city enter into an agreement to pay for the improvements located within the city limits. This would allow for complete, full-width, edge-to-edge roadway improvements throughout the project limits. The cost for the city's portion of the improvements is estimated at $46,998.90. As part of the agreement, the county agrees to act as lead agency for the project, prepare plan specifications and engineer's estimate, and submit to the city for review, apply for an encroachment permit with the city, and advertise, award, and administer a public works contract for the construction of the project. The city agrees to fund 100% of the costs of the portion of the project within the city limits and provide a representative to coordinate and assist the county's resident engineer during the construction of the project. Staff is recommending City Council authorize the city manager to execute the service agreement between the city and the county for the completion of the Camino Campanero, Avenida Descanso, and Camino Aventura slurry seal improvements.
Do we have any public comments on this item? Anyone would like to come forth and make public comment? I see no public comments on this item. Move to City Council. I have one with Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, real quick, do you have a start time, completion timeline on this?
I do not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, a quick comment, thanks. I want to thank staff for looking into this, and it really has economies of scale when there's an agency coming in to do paving, they're already moving the equipment and everything in, and then basically we're tagging on for just the cost of materials, and so I want to thank them for doing this. I hope this is part of our efforts going forward, because we get so much more done, and I'm understanding that half of the street is in the county and the other half is on ours, so rather than having a half a street done, so this makes total sense. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion if it's time.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I just had one. Any of these streets have sidewalks to them already in place? I'm sorry, Julia.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Pitts.
I moved.
Oh, did you already move it? Okay.
Oh, I thought he was asking me if they had
Yeah.
sidewalks. I said, that's a
It's
question.
been moved by Mr. Betts, seconded by Mr. Gardner. Any other comments? Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item 7 is agreement for maintenance and shared traffic signals and safety lighting with the City of Palm Springs. Mr. Haker? No, Jillian again.
It's me again. Yep. Hello again. All right. Several existing and future traffic signals and safety lighting are located within the City of Desert Hot Springs and the City of Palm Springs city limits, which both cities are joint owners. An agreement has been developed to share the maintenance costs of the traffic signals and safety lighting, since these installations benefit both cities. The City of Desert Hot Springs will act as the lead agency and provide the following services: routine maintenance services, which include inspections, making necessary repairs, cleaning the controller cabinet, relamping and cleaning signal heads and street name signs as required, and relamping and cleaning lights as required. Emergency call-out services, which include all repair and maintenance services required to preserve public safety in the event of an installation failure, and arrange for delivery of electrical power. The total cost of work and services provided by the lead agency shall be allocated between Desert Hot Springs and Palm Springs in proportion to each city's ownership interest. The City of Palm Springs shall pay the City of Desert Hot Springs their percentage of the cost of services for existing and future traffic signals and safety light installations as follows. Existing North Indian Canyon Drive and 20th Avenue shall have a cost share of 50% for Desert Hot Springs and 50% for Palm Springs. Future North Indian Canyon Drive and Coachella Way shall have a cost share of 50% for Desert Hot Springs and 50% for Palm Springs. Future North Indian Canyon Drive and 19th Avenue shall have a cost share of 50% for Desert Hot Springs and 50% for Palm Springs. And future North Indian Canyon Drive and 18th Avenue shall have a cost share of 25% for Desert Hot Springs, 25% for Palm Springs, and 50% for the County of Riverside. The cost shares are determined by what percentage of the signal and safety lights are within each jurisdiction.
Thank you. Any comments on this item? I don't see anybody coming forth. I'll close public comments. Any comments down here?
The only comment I made is the obvious is that light on Dillon and Indian. So,
any comments down here?
Go ahead. I swore I was going to stay quiet.
No, you're right. The Dillon one's completely in the county, so I'm glad we're not taking that one over, but this does make a lot of sense, and I'm glad. I'd rather us be the lead agency on it than Palm Springs would be, because we're a heck of a lot more responsible than they are.
So my question is regarding the light at Coachella. It's presently facing the wrong direction and waiting to be activated. Is this one step closer to that being activated? I know that they've now paved the street underground of the utilities, and my God, I wish that was a little closer to the entrance of the city, but what a beautiful entrance that they have created there. Is that light going to be operational soon?
It should be, yes. Mm-hmm.
How soon, do you know?
I do not have an estimated date, no.
Can we get that by the next meeting?
I can give you a date, yes, by the next
Great,
meeting.
we'll look forward
Absolutely.
to that report. Thank you,
we'll
Mr.
put Nick on that one.
Huh? What'd you say?
We'll put Nick on that one.
All right, do you have a motion to approve this item?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Please press the buttons. And if there's no other comments, please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, we got a really hefty agenda, so we're going to take a 15-minute just joke.
Well,
do we
Mr.
have
Mayor,
do we have any other public comments in the audience tonight that no one didn't get to speak at the beginning of the meeting?
There's a bus that just pulled up with 90 public speakers. So.
And with that said, yes, ma'am, you did not speak at the beginning. This is another public comment period. You may have 3 minutes.
Have for the city is a swimmer in the pool, as you can see.
We will remember that. You should have seen our logo before we changed it.
So, you know,
All right.
yeah.
No, you cannot.
That's right. It's me, actually. So thank you so much for hearing us. And yes, I once passed a swim test for the lifeguard for the ocean. I'm not in shape anymore, but we could whip ourselves into shape. Okay.
We'll have
Thank
a
you so
discussion. Anyone else like to speak to the city council? I did not speak at the beginning of the meeting. I see nobody coming forth. The Public Safety Commission will meet on September 18th. The Planning Commission will meet on September 13th. And we'll be back in this room on September 20th. Be safe, and I don't know what you're all going to do with your time, staff. It's so early. Don't tell your spouses. We're adjourned.
I see the sunflower rising behind my